Hey everybody, welcome to Full Court Press. I'm Alan Teetle.
And I'm Cameron Banks, here to talk some basketball news for you all.
Right on.
What's going on over there in LA land right now?
Man, so many things. I mean, we're getting, they're starting to mesh a little bit, and they're starting to get a couple of wins. But LeBron still gets blown out by a Kawhi-less Raptors team over the weekend.
Man, I think that was embarrassing for the entire organization.
Yep.
They've tried their best to present a lineup that's going to work, but without Kawhi, you can't beat the Raptors. Is LA dealing with some coaching struggles? Is it chemistry? What do you think the overall issue is with the Lakers?
I honestly, I couldn't tell you because, I mean, you have Luke Walton right there doing his coaching thing. And then you have LeBron trying to be LeBron and do his coaching thing as well. And I don't know if those are really coinciding as well as Magic Johnson might have wanted them to.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, just more evidence to the fact that LeBron is really just a Laker for hobby's sake.
Whoa.
I mean, right after they got blown out by the Raptors, he's going straight to P. Diddy's birthday party.
Well, you cannot miss a Puffy birthday party. If anybody
It's
knows,
true.
you cannot miss
I agree with
a
you,
Diddy birthday party.
But I mean, let's be real. Like, he's there for all of the stuff that he's going to get into after he's done being a Laker.
I've said that multiple times that LeBron James is not in LA to play basketball. It's a really good idea. I know he's a basketball player, but he has told us multiple times he's more than an athlete. And I think he's showing it with his party favors that he's getting now,
Right.
with the production company he started up, the school that he's got going. I think LeBron James right now is becoming a real-rounded person now, rather than an athlete itself.
Right.
But they just signed Tyson Chandler, so they're gonna add a little defense. I know it's not Tyson Chandler from the Rockets,
The Mavericks.
the Mavericks,
Yeah.
or from the Knicks, but it definitely is a help for them on the defensive side. JaVale McGee has been their top defensive player so far.
That's crazy to me. Still.
Yeah, that's the irony of a lot of things. So when I'm looking at the Lakers, I think right now all they need to do is just trust the process. I know it's ironic to say in the Western Conference, but trust the process.
It's gonna take a little bit more time, and it's gonna be a long process if
Yeah.
we think that any of these guys are gonna catch up to where LeBron needs them to be to get all the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, well, the trade talk has quieted down a lot in the Western Conference. I know the Rockets were talking about a Jimmy Butler trade, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
kind
got
of just
squashed.
fizzled out. Who are you hoping that we could possibly pick up? If not Jimmy Butler, I know for a fact I have a strong theory that my boy J.R. Swish is going to be coming out to Houston and joining up with his boy Melo for a third stint with another team, man.
I think that the Rockets, if they don't get anything done with Jimmy in the next week, we're not going to see any big moves until Christmas.
That's a major take because I'm hoping that they just let it play out a little more.
That's what I'm saying.
'Cause
I mean, they're gonna
nobody
see
wants
what
to be
happens.
traded more than Jimmy Butler right now.
Yeah.
From him being on the bench and then waving with the Warriors fans, I don't know if you saw that clip, but he was sitting on the bench encouraging the Warriors fans to like
Get
win,
loud.
to win against them. It was really kind of embarrassing for the organization. And then sitting out because of body soreness and things of that nature.
Right.
I'm hoping that we figure out a way because if he's bringing that mentality to Houston, they can keep that up there with Minnesota, man.
We'll have to see, man. But moving on to some other stuff, injury news. Rose, after a huge 50-point game last week, is might be on the injury report this next week in the NBA.
Doesn't surprise me whatsoever. For Halloween, Derrick Rose dressed up as Derrick Rose from the Chicago Bulls and put up 50. You know, that was really dope. I'm really glad that he did that. But when it boils down to where Derrick Rose is in his career, he has to realize that these big spurts and outbursts are not going to be the same. It's not going to be, the consistent thing.
He's not
that
going to
used
do it
be.
night in, night out.
No,
way.
and you cannot do that with the type of body that he has right now as well. I know he wants to be explosive. He's played a lot more shooting guard than point guard, which is excellent. But this is a new NBA where it's going to cause a lot more physicality to come into play.
And on our way out, guys, we have to comment on the complete deterioration of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have just kind of all gone by the wayside. I mean, Colin Sexton is trying to do his thing, but he can't do it by himself. And now Kevin Love is out with foot injuries and is going to be out for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, and Larry Drew is scrambling to figure out something with that lineup.
There's not a lot he can do because, I mean, outside of Tristan Thompson maybe coming back to life, they can't do anything.
Chill with all this Tristan Thompson talk. We know that the Kardashian curse is real, and it has hurt and struck him in his pockets and his
true.
play. So we cannot count on Tristan Thompson to be anything but what he's already been.
Right.
A good rebounder, 10 points a game. That's all we can get from Tristan Thompson. So when we talk about the Cavaliers, I know that their interim coach, Larry Drew, has said that, man, I'm not even trying to take the job unless y'all give me guaranteed money next year.
True.
Do you think that's a really good stance for him to take?
Oh, most definitely, because right now, I mean, he's just been walked into having a bunch of L's in that column, and it's unfair for the Cavaliers to think that this guy is going to walk in and just lose a bunch, and then they're not even going to take him up next year?
Right, no, that's nonsense. I'm actually glad that they fired Tyronn Lue. I think it was kind of a separation thing. I don't think it was a situation where they were like, no, we don't need you no more. But I think Ty was like, man, I don't want all those losses on my record. I'm a championship coach. Like, what do you mean I have to coach a team full of bums? Nah, I'm good on that. So I think Larry Drew's in a good position. Hold strong, man, because if you're going to have to take these L's and put them on your record, it's going to cost you a lot in the long run. Maybe not right now, but in the long run.
Most definitely. I mean, he just can't. He can't sustain that.
Yeah, and I think right now the Cavaliers in a position to just tank and hopefully pick up a top pick in the lottery if they will.
Maybe.
You know, a lot more NBA news coming up, but I think that's all for us for this week.
That's
man.
it.
So this has been in Full Court Press, and I'm Cameron Banks.
And I'm Alan Tito.
Appreciate you all for coming by. Please like, share, and subscribe. We have Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Feel free to look up Global Sports Network, and we will be here for all your sports news.
Thanks, guys.